He lived among millions, yet he felt more alone than a man in the desert. He had a house, but no peace, a job, but no joy, a family, but no belonging. But one night, one single heartbreaking night, Allah sent him a test that tore his life apart, only so he could rebuild him into someone new. This is the story of a man who thought he had no friends until he discovered a friend who had always been with him. This is the story of how one ayah, one stranger, and one night changed a life forever. The stranger Allah saved, a heart-melting Islamic story based on Hazrat Ali's wisdom. Arman Khan had lived in the same city for 30 years, yet he felt like a stranger walking through streets that once felt familiar. The world had become loud, heartless, hurried, and cold. People no longer looked each other in the eyes. Neighbors no longer greeted one another. Everyone was busy with their phones, their screens, their worries, their desires, their deadlines. And Arman, a quiet and gentle man, walked through all of them like a shadow no one noticed. He wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, Arman had friends, real friends, the kind that laughed with him, sat with him on rooftops, drinking chai at sunset, and trusted him with their secrets. But life had scattered them across continents, swallowed them into marriages, careers, debts, and burdens. One by one, they drifted away. One by one, they forgot him. He didn't blame them. The world changed. People changed. But deep inside his chest, something quietly cracked. Hazrat Ali's words echoed in his mind often. Lack of friends means stranger in one's own country. Arman felt that deeply. He felt it every time he returned to an empty small apartment, dropped his keys on a silent table, reheated the same leftover doll, and scrolled through contacts he could no longer call. But Allah was watching, and Allah was preparing a test that would shake Arman's soul, tear through his loneliness, and bring him back home. Home to faith, home to belonging, home to Allah. It began on a rainy Tuesday night. Arman had stayed late at work because staying late felt easier than going home. The office was quiet, lights dimming one floor at a time, leaving behind a haunting silence he had become used to. When he finally stepped outside, cold rain slapped his face. He pulled his jacket tight, leaned into the wind, and hurried toward the bus stop. The roads were empty, puddles rippling under streetlights, and clouds growling with anger. As Arman crossed the main road, he suddenly heard shouting. "Stop! Somebody stop him!" A man was running at full speed, holding a woman's handbag. Behind him, a woman cried for help. But the thief was fast, too fast, and he was about to disappear into an alley. Arman didn't think. He just ran. His feet splashed through puddles. His heart pounded. His breath burned. But he ran with everything he had. The thief looked back, shocked to see a silent, ordinary-looking man chasing him with such fire. They entered the alley, narrow, dark, dripping with rainwater from broken pipes. And then it happened. The thief spun around suddenly and pushed Arman with full force. Arman slipped on the wet ground and crashed hard against a metal dumpster. The world blurred. Pain exploded across his side. He groaned, trying to stand, but the thief raised a brick in his hand. "Back off," he shouted. Arman froze. Rain hammered the world. Thunder roared. And in that terrifying moment, Arman felt something he hadn't felt in years. Fear of dying alone, unnoticed, unloved. The thief ran away, disappearing into the dark, leaving the stolen bag behind. Arman sat trembling, drenched in rain, pain stabbing with every breath. He finally crawled up, grabbed the woman's bag, and stumbled back to the main road. By the time he returned it, the woman had already called police. Instead of gratitude, she cried, "You could have heard him. Why did you chase him?" The officer, assuming Arman was involved, questioned him harshly. "Where were you? Why were you running? Do you know the thief?" Arman tried to answer, but his voice shook. His words tangled. His nerves collapsed under pressure. Within minutes, they handcuffed him. And in that moment, Arman felt the deepest loneliness he had ever known, surrounded by people, yet abandoned, misunderstood, invisible. At the police station, they placed him in a small interrogation room. The cold metal chair, the flickering light, the smell of damp walls, everything suffocated him. He looked at his hands, red from the fall, trembling uncontrollably. He whispered to himself, "I was just trying to help." But no one listened. Hours passed. They didn't let him call anyone. They didn't let him rest. They didn't let him explain. He was alone, painfully, crushingly alone. Then came the moment Allah had written. A new officer entered the room. A tall, calm man with a gentle face, warm eyes, and a beard peppered with gray. His uniform carried authority, but his presence carried something else, compassion. "My name is Officer Idris," he said quietly. "Tell me your side." Armin finally exhaled. Words spilled out of him like water breaking through a dam. The chase, the fall, the thief, the misunderstanding. Officer Idris listened, truly listened. His eyes softened. "You did the right thing," Idris said. "You helped someone in need." Armin's throat tightened. After hours of humiliation, those words felt like a blanket placed on a freezing body. Officer Idris spoke to the woman again. When she learned Armin had returned the bag, she apologized. They cleared Armin of suspicion. Papers were signed. Formalities completed. He was free to go, but he felt anything but free. He stumbled outside the police station at 2 a.m. His body ached. His clothes dripped. His soul felt like a shattered window. He sat on the curb, holding his head in his hands. Life felt unbearable. He whispered, "Ya Allah, why am I always alone? Why does no one see me? Why does no one care?" Tears mixed with rain. A shadow moved beside him. Officer Idris sat down next to him, offering a cup of hot tea. "You look like you haven't talked to someone in a long time," he said. Armin didn't respond, but his silence was loud. Idris gently said, "The Prophet said, the believer to the believer is like a building. Each part supports the other. You're not meant to carry life alone." Armin closed his eyes, letting those words sink deep. Idris continued, "Come with me. There's somewhere I want to take you." Armin hesitated, but something about Idris felt safe. They walked through quiet streets until they reached a small masjid. Humble, warm, glowing softly under the rain. Inside, a few men sat in a circle, reciting Quran peacefully. "Sit," Idris whispered. Armin sat, heart pounding. An elderly imam recited, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest." Something cracked open inside Armin. Tears rolled silently. He felt like the ayah was speaking directly to him, like Allah was telling him, "I am your friend. I was always with you. You were never alone." After the recitation, the imam came to Armin and smiled warmly. "You are new here. Welcome, my son." No one had called him son in years. The men invited him for dinner. Simple rice and curry, served with sincere hospitality. They asked nothing about his past, his mistakes, his loneliness. They saw him as a brother. That night, Armin felt something melt, slowly, gently, beautifully, belonging. The next day, Officer Idris checked on him again. The next week, the brothers of the masjid welcomed him every night. The next month, Armin had more friends than he had in years. Real friends. The kind who ask how you are. The kind who sit with you in silence. The kind who share Quran, advice, laughter, tears. The kind who make you feel seen. Armin began praying regularly for the first time in years. He learned Quran. He joined charity work. He helped people the same way he once needed help. One evening, after Isha prayer, Idris said something that stayed with Armin forever. "Do you know why Allah tested you that night?" Armin shook his head. "To break the walls around your heart, so people could finally enter. To push you out of loneliness so you could walk into his light." Armin's eyes filled with tears. Months passed. He healed. He grew. He transformed. One quiet night, as he walked home from the masjid, he whispered Hazrat Ali's words. "Lack of friends means stranger in one's own country." Then he smiled and added, "But Allah makes strangers into brothers." And for the first time in many years, Armin did not feel like a stranger anymore. He felt at home, not in the city, not in the masjid, not even among people. He felt at home with Allah, the one who never left, the one who always heard, the one who answered him that lonely night, the one who sent help disguised as hardship. Armin looked up at the sky, breathed deeply, and whispered, "Ya Allah, thank you for giving me friends and for being the best friend of all." And just like that, The man who once walked as a shadow finally stepped into the light. If this story touched your heart even a little, my dear brothers and sisters, then remember this: loneliness is not a punishment. Sometimes Allah removes people from your life so He can bring you back to Him. If you ever feel abandoned, just raise your hands and whisper, "Ya Allah, I need you." Because He is the friend who never leaves, the listener who never gets tired, the protector who never sleeps. For more emotional Islamic stories, du'as, reminders, and life-changing moments of faith, subscribe to Deen in Minute. Your one-click supports us, strengthens the Ummah, and helps spread the message of Allah across the world. May Allah fill your life with good friends, sincere hearts, and His divine light. Ameen.